Welcome to the combat preview. There's more coming to the game than just combat, but they want to get the combat right before they do the rest, which is very good. Let's see. Hi T-Bang, welcome. This is a card-based combat game with ships and stuff. Happy Saturday. Each ship has different weapon shield generators and support equipment, and that results in a different starting deck and playstyle. Equipment such as weapons and shield. You know, weapons. They all come with cards. Or, you know, skills. They are mounted on the appropriate hard points present on your ship. Each piece of equipment contains a few starting cards and has slots to add more cards as you play. For your first run, select the Arbalest. A good introduction of the game's mechanics. Okay. Got a Marauder. Ship status, 50 shields, we got no money, there's ordnance, energy and mass. A pulse laser. Zal Vargas is a level 0 gunner, who's a human good with combat logistics. And then there's Shin Garcia, our tactical officer, human engineer. We've got 2 AIs serving as our tactical. Okay. Engage. The system up ahead has been thrown into chaos ever since the Starkin Advanced Force arrived. Okay. Starkin, huh? Around the same time, most comm arrays started malfunctioning, and now inter-systems communication has gone totally silent. Some of the local free roamers are claiming that this is being used to cover up something big happening in the system. Everyone there is on edge now. You should take care in traversing the system. So FTL style. Poor FTL, right? It's being reduced to multiple choice maps. This is your ship status bar up here in the top left. It contains hull points and credits. Clicking on it gives you the full status of the ship. There's a reactor up here. It generates the resources needed to play cards while in combat. The reactor power is distributed between ordnance, energy, and mass production. Mass is for upgrades and repairs, energy is for defense and abilities, and ordnance is for tax. Interesting. You can upgrade your reactor for a cost, gaining 1 extra power per upgrade. Click the upgrade button for 150 credits. Okay, the extra reactor power to one of the 3 resource types. You can change the power distribution at any time for upgrades. So if there's a white, there's undistributed power, and this is your maximum. Yeah. You can right click on a resource to remove and left click to add. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, okay. Click on the ship status bar again to close this. This looks good. So after the multiple choice map, we actually arrive in a system with the central star and all that. But this seems linear up to this point, at which we choose, and then again choose, linear, choose. Okay, yeah. The planets revolve around the sun as soon as we move. Okay, so there's time for going forward maybe. Enemy ship detected. You take a deep breath and power up the ship's combat systems for the first time. There are 3 card types in Breachway. By the symbol in the top of the card. The symbol? And the colors. Ah, right. That's a bit rounder. I guess I would have made this shorter than this as well. Anyway, attack cards. Okay, yeah, they correspond to the reactor. Having the right cards to play for a given situation is key. If you draw cards that are not useful in the moment, you can discard them from your hand by right-clicking on them. This frees up card slots for you to draw new cards into at the next turn. Each enemy equipment plays... what? Each enemy equipment plays one card at a time. So their shield pulse plays a card. You can hover over enemy cards to see what effect they will have. A card can take 1 to 3 turns to play. Deplete. You can only play this once. It adds 4 shield points. I'll read that. Once a card's bars are filled up, it will get played. Alright, so this has 1 bar, this has 2 bars. The cards about to get played are highlighted by a white border, like the shield pulse at the moment. That's... yeah, okay. Attacking equipment and reducing its durability to 0 will break it. Durability is below. Rendering it unable to play any cards and any effects related to that equipment are disabled. Once an equipment is broken, it takes 3 turns until it's repaired. With mass. Attack cards with a precision icon can target specific equipment. Oh! Attacks without precision have the damage randomly distributed. Okay, I see. Shields are your main way of preventing incoming damage. They are persistent between turns but are reduced by half at the start of each turn. Shield duration prevents shields from being reduced. Aha. There's hull and heat. There's our draw pile, which we cannot look at. There's a battle history. This is our anime, which we can look at from all angles. Ooh, nice! We can zoom in and out as well. So it can give us a nice view of the enemy ship with the planet in the background. Where are we in relation to them? I would now assume we can see them somewhere. Okay, so they're gonna shield themselves for 4. The laser damage is precision based, so they target a specific equipment. Deal 4 damage. Does it mean that it pierces hull? In the brackets. I don't really understand what that means in the brackets, but maybe we'll get to that. Homeworld, yay! Okay, what do we have? We've got rearm. Gain 2 ordnance if you end your turn with 3 or less ordnance. Upgrade. Effect does not expire. Card removed from deck while it's active. Costs 1 energy. You could really do with mouse over information. 5 mass. Okay, and then the resource bay lights up. The shield, and you see the points on the ship here. Add 1 card slot. Costs 1 mass for every existing card slot. It's an upgrade. So it costs 4 now at the moment, yeah, and 2 energy to play it. Well, first I'm gonna get shields. And then I can upgrade the rearm for later. Or I keep it. What do I get if I discard this? Maybe nothing. No, the music is not homeworthy. It's cool that we see our shield though. Right? I just would have expected that we can put them in direct opposition. You know. I mean, I could do it like this. Roughly. Anyway, I'm gonna end my turn, I think. They're shielding. Next turn they're gonna play this one, and they're gonna target a specific equipment, but if I understand it correctly, they do 4 damage, we've got 3 shield. Half of what we had last turn, right? Play at least 1 attack per turn to make target lock work. We've really not got enough. So I could play the capacity expansion. I really don't need this. But I can't draw cards just like that. Okay, hopefully we're gonna draw all 3 cards next turn. Our engineering bay is now upgraded, and we get a laser. Boom. That was 1 hull point. Yeah, the music is kind of getting on my nerves already. Which is okay. I turn that off in most games anyway. Now we've got weapons. That was about time. Deals 4 damage. All pulse cards played this turn deal an extra. And this does cost 3 ordnance, 3 energy, and the other one's just ordnance. Now that's gonna be good. What are they doing? Yeah, okay. Wait. We've got... Gain 1 energy for every 2 ordnance spent this turn. And then we're gonna do... their shields. They both have precision, but 5 is not enough to nuke the barrier with 1 shot. I'll still go for it. Now, they have to repair this for the duration of 3 turns. Right, I'm gonna keep this and end the turn. Pulse again. I've got no shields left, so I can play both the barrier and the target lock. We have a go at their laser pulse, which we cannot destroy, but we nearly have them anyway. Yeah, that's that. After every combat encounter, you get credits and the option to upgrade equipment, which opens up the card drafting menu. You can hover over any piece of equipment to see what cards you can add to each. Each equipment has its own library of cards from where you get a random pick to add to it. Okay. Some more powerful and or advanced cards require you to have a number of cards already on your equipment in order to show up as an option. Right. Victory. So, the pulse laser has 1 slot, if I understand this correctly. The resource bay has 2. Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it? Missiles. That's our missile rack, currently. I'm not sure what this is. Right, so we draw these cards from the missile rack equipment piece. Deal 8 damage after 2 turns. Requires 3 production of ordnance at least. It can only play once in the battle. Or 2 ordnance. Or another star flare, which is a faster firing, lower damage, same ordnance cost. Let's get a torpedo. Okay, Continue. Interesting. Undetected enemy ship approaching. So this is all placeholder stuff, right? They are focusing currently on the combat still. So that's just... Although it's pretty nice for a placeholder. Yeah, I agree. At first glance, it looked like, you know, yet another I'm trying to be Slay the Spire. But I looked a bit deeper and that sounded very interesting. And in practice now, it seems promising. Your enemy just fired a missile. Missiles have a delay of 1 or more turns before they hit, in time in which you can shoot them down with point defense cards. Or add shield points to prevent the damage. You can see any incoming missile in the lower left part of the screen above your hull points. Yes, under the chat window. There. Each turn you generate resources based on how much reactor power each resource type has. That's true. Maybe the total reactor power is also interesting. Once per turn, you can remove reactor power from a resource by right-clicking on it and add it to another resource by left-clicking. So much for at any time, right? It's something I forgot to do in the previous combat. I could have taken the leftover ordnance and put it into energy or mass, right? So currently, let's see, I have 4 energy. That's enough for a barrier and a rearm. Yeah. Right, so next turn I would get another 4 mass and only 2 ordnance. So I'm gonna bring up this. Oh, they look cool. Bring up the shield. I do like the fact that you can scroll around this a lot. I just feel like it would be cool if you would have the option to just have them without the, you know, without the blocking bar. I'm not sure if this is visually worth it, but that's subjective anyway. Yeah, this upgrade is not going to cost us anything. And I can currently spend the energy. The rearming is active. They're going to fire up their barrier. And that's going to do 4 damage. That's for this turn. I'm going to end my turn. That's the barrier. Okay. We see what was played. And there's... Right. It would be kind of cool if you would also see damage dealt here. But seeing the cards played is already not too bad. And now I could do a target lock. Oh, but I do need more energy. So I'm going to change from mass production to energy production to even that out. We do have enough ordnance at the moment. Yeah, this would dissipate if I don't play an attack this turn, if I read this correctly. We're going to have 5 energy next turn, which is enough for a target lock and a catalyst pulse. Could gain 1 energy for that if I leave the cards as they are. They're going to fire a Firefly, but I can shield before that happens. Yeah. But then I can't do target lock and firing. And at some point, I need to do that. Interesting. So, I'm gonna play conservation to get one energy back from the shot. The random distribution. Oh, they didn't get targeted at all. It was just taking away their shield and their health points. Oh, okay. Could I have targeted that one? Aha! So if you don't target it, if you target the ship as such, you go for the hull actually. Interesting. I understood that differently, but that's quite alright. Yeah, that's a hit. Capacity upgrade costs 4 mass at the moment. So I will have 3 shield points once that's done. That means I will get only 1 damage from the Firefly. But the thing is, I want to keep this going to deal extra damage. I could take down their missile. They are basically disarmed for 3 turns. That's what we did just now. Let's get an extra card slot by playing this engineering bay. And leave the energy in the reactor as is. They're gonna shield for 6 in 3 turns. That's okay. Conservation. Yeah, that's just... Bam. Very good. I don't need the shield at the moment, so I'm not going to play the barriers. I'm just going to keep them there. I could even go and discard that, although my deck is too small. I'm just going to pull it out again. Oh, I'm missing 1 ordnance. Ah, I could have seen that coming. I could have seen that coming. It's alright though. I just fire. And we're gonna be at 4. I can't do 2, right? So we're gonna end up with 5 ordnance. But shifting the distribution there is important enough. Yeah, okay, now I can fire twice and I can also get energy back for it. That I really needed. But since I do get the energy back, I can lower the reactor power for that, and then I can do this. Alright, the battle's over anyway, but yeah, that would have been a good plan. So, select an equipment to add a card to. The resource bay. Now, we can pick. We have these in the resource bay. Equivalents. Gain 1 mass for every 2 energy spent. Or gain 4 mass. That's a one-off. I like these resource boosters. They're cool. Okay, and then we'll see an event. There's an escape pod. We don't really have options yet. I think they might just give you options later. New crew member. Automatically assigned. Crew members need to be positioned next to an equipment to operate it. This makes the equipment's card show up during combat and adds an additional card slot to your hand. Crew keywords can affect some narrative event outcomes. Aha. Or change the way an event plays out entirely. Makes sense, right? If you don't have a pirate-savvy human, you probably... Right, so... Finn is going to be our gunner. Up there. I guess they also get XP later on, or better skills or something? And now we would have the missile rack operated during combat. I've got not enough credits for an upgrade here. But I could switch the base reactor behavior. Right? If I check out my cards, these all cost 2 energy to shoot. So I could say, okay, we need less mass and we need more ordnance. So we can fire faster from the missile launcher and the torpedo launcher. But do we have enough energy for the shields then, is the question. Right? And that way you can build and balance your ship. There's more slots here for you to use. And I think that's enough already. Because we know what it does, and we're going to check back in half a year and see how it is getting along. But I think this is one to keep an eye on. I think the deck building system they came up with here is really cool. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the humans. If it's just going to be a certain level and then they have an influence on the events, or if if they a bit like in Rogue Lords, if say there's an event that has to do with the Pirates Heavy Gunner and they are having a positive influence on the event, maybe they get a boost to their skills, and if it's a negative effect, they lose something, or I don't know, maybe some interesting stuff like that, or maybe they just level up and get better. That would be totally fine, I guess. But yeah, this modular deck building is kind of cool, and the fact that you draft upgrades is a bit sad. I think that's only 2 choices. But then again, it's easier and faster to play if it's only 2 choices, right? So it reduces the thinky time there. Cool, I like this. Breachway, have a look at it. It's a demo that you can play on Steam at the moment. And if you're into deck building and space combat starships, you should try it.